It's the final round of the 2009 FIM Superside Sidecar World Championship, and we're here at the famous historic circuit of Le Mans in France. Well, the 4.1 kilometre Bugatti circuit being used here for the Superside event, not of course the long 24-hour track, but a fantastic grid of sidecars for this final round of the World Championship. A bit of a cuddle there for Brian Pedder from Jos Moser. So the teams prepare for the qualifying session here at Le Mans, and as they go into this final round, Ben and Tom Birchall, the young brothers from Mansfield in the UK, they head the World Championship on 131 points, 14 points ahead of the defending world champion Pekka Pivarinta and his passenger Adolf Hanni.
Well, who knows, with racing you never know, but hopefully we can take the championship today. It'll be very nice to do that and then maybe have a party tonight.
Sixth in the championship, Jos Moser.
Ja, die Franzosen sind da auf dieser Strecke, man merkt es schon, die sind keine Neulinge, die sind da sehr schnell.
Aber sie sind relativ freundlich, sagt Moser s'il vous plaît.
First year in Superside for Craig Chaplow and Danny Everson, the young team learning their craft on the big stage.
To race at this historic circuit is fantastic. We walked around last evening and just looked at all of the things for the Le Mans 24-hour, all of the big glass fronted places and things.
Three times former champion Tim Reeves, but no chance of the title this year.
It's been a very difficult year for us. Obviously Patrick decided the day before the first race in Schlutters he was going to retire, and Trish had not raced for 2 years, so it was difficult for him to jump straight on and get back into it and full gas. Hopefully we can go out the season with a win, but we'll have to see it.
So a great race in prospect here at Le Mans. Final preparations here for round 5, race number 7. And after qualifying, Pekka Pivarinta, Adolf Hanni on pole position. Ben and Tom Birchall second on the grid, and they need to finish in the top 7. And Tim and Tristan Reeves third on the front row of the grid. No chance of taking the championship, but they'll want to go out with a victory. So as they stream into turn 1, it looks like Ben and Tom Birchall in the lead from Pekka Pivarinta and Adolf Hanni. They try and squeeze through the S's. Just looking back at a replay from that start, Mike Rocha and Greg Close. And once again, Jos Moser getting a blinder of a start from the third row of the grid. The reverse shot from Rocha, looking at Brian Pedder and Rod Stedman, getting very squeezed there by Michael Ducouré. But up the front, Pivarinta has got past Ben and Tom Birchall. Well, his only real chance is to win the race and hope that there's a problem for the Birchall brothers. Third position, number 36, Tim and Tristan Reeves. Thundering down the fast back straight here at Le Mans. Rocha now right on the back wheel of Jos Moser's machine and using all of the curbing and a little bit more as they cross the famous start-finish line once again. But up front still, Pekka Pivarinta and Adolf Hanni just having a slight lead as Tim Reeves dives up the inside of Birchall. And well, Ben and Tom Birchall weren't expecting that, just had to take a bit of avoiding action. But Tim and Tristan Reeves up into second position. Oh, and a retirement for Milan Spendel and Peter Hill. Well, disappointment for the Slovenian team. They were holding that fourth position in the World Championship. And that looks like the Swiss team of Peter Schroeder and Anna Burkhardt battling with Craig Chaplow and Danny Everson. Well, the very eye-catching machine of Philippe Labelle going through the snake design. and he's battling around that 12th position as well. But still, second position, Tim and Tristan Reeves. Can't do anything about Pekka Pivarinta ahead of them, and still just about holding off Ben and Tom Birchall. And into the flat-out right-hander, Birchall seems to have the speed on the Reeves machine. Indeed, takes second place, but doesn't have the inside line. And now back looking at the Frenchman Gregory Clues on Mike Roche's machine, and they are right behind Gary and Dan Knight. But really, Ben and Tom Birchall having a tremendous scrap for second place with Tim and Tristan Reeves, and they really don't want to be getting into too much of a dogfight here, but now taken second place back from the Reeves brothers, and hopefully thinking that they're going to pull away perhaps. Greg Clues has had a fantastic season with Mike Rocher, and that's a spinner ahead of them, and that could possibly been Ducaray perhaps. But, well, Ben Birchall and his younger brother Tom just managing to maintain that half a second gap over Tim and Tristan Reeves. Still this fight between Mike Rocher and Gary and Dan Knight, and contact there, I think, between the two machines. Coming into the double right-hander at the end of the lap. And Rocher once again looking up the inside of Gary and Dan Knight as he made it this time. So Mike Rocher into 5th position. Gary and Dan Knight pushed back into 6th position. Ben and Tom Birchall holding second place, and that's more than enough for them to secure this 2009 World Championship. But still the battle for 5th position rages on. Gary and Dan Knight's machine, what a good speed into that first fast right-hander, and then it's hard on the brakes for this left-right chicane under the famous Dunlop Bridge on the exit. No way around the outside there, and well, the curbs are just there to sort of give you an idea of where the track is. You're not supposed to stay within them. Race leader Pivarinta puts a lap over the 73 machine of Craig Chaplow and Danny Everson. What a smoking rear tyre. And that's the Swiss pairing of Jakob Rutz and Rita Abeli. Well, the trophy's being prepared now as Pekka Pivarinta and Adolf Hanni come through the final corner. They're going to take victory in this final round of the 2009 World Championship, but it's all down now to whether Ben and Tom Birchall can take second position. Indeed they can, and that is enough to give them the 2009 FIM Superside Sidecar World Championship. But the number 1 t-shirts on the backs of Ben and Tom Birchall already as they complete their victory lap. Well, what a fantastic achievement. Number 3, Kurt Hock Enrico Becker took 3rd position when Tim and Tristan Reeves retired in the closing stages. And congratulations to Kurt Hock and Enrico Becker, their first ever podium. They took that 3rd place. Gary and Dan Knight eventually took 4th ahead of Mike Rocher and Greg Clues, with Michael Ducaray and Herman Bastien in 6th position. So a very happy Kurt Hock there with his passenger Enrico Becker. On the left-hand side, Ben and Tom Birchall 2nd in the race. And the race winners taking their 2nd victory of 2009, Pekka Pivarinta and Adolf Hanni. Celebrating that famous World Championship win for the Birchall brothers. Pekka Pivarinta, Adolf Hanni, 2nd position. Tim and Tristan Reeves, of course, helped by James Neve, 3rd in the championship. A good 4th for Gary and Dan Knight, ahead of Jos Moser and Manfred Weselberger. The World Championship presentation, the gold medals to Ben and Tom Birchall, the silver medals to Adolf Hanni there and Pekka Pivarinta. it's great to see two very happy teams on the podium. As Father Birchall, overwhelmed by the whole thing, spent many years watching his sons grow up around racing. Ben started off as a sidecar passenger, moved to driving in 2002, and now in 2009, along with brother Ben, he's world champion.
It's a fantastic feeling, yeah. We're so happy, and a big thank you to all our sponsors and friends and family that helped us to get to this day. It's fantastic.